everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Bookish Blonde. So today's video is all about my game with Amber, Booked for Summer. So I am going to go over all the prompts and give you some book title recommendations off my shelves that will fulfill each of these prompts. For each prompt, I have at least 2 books to recommend. Some of these titles are ones I've read, some I haven't read. This may be a little bit longer, chattier style video, so make sure you grab a snack or a drink, and we'll just get into it. So the first prompt that we have is Beach Read Bliss. And for this prompt, you're supposed to pick up a book that takes place near a body of water. So I picked 2 randomly off my shelves, both that I haven't read, actually. The first one is Shipped by Angie Hoffman. Angie Hockman. This is The Unhoneymooners meets The Hating Game. It's a clever romantic comedy. We have 2 people that kind of meet when they are on a vacation in the Galapagos Islands. They meet on the ship and they probably fall in love, I'm guessing. So there's that one. Next one is set on a pirate ship. This was actually pushed into my hands by one of you guys, one of my viewers. The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, if I'm saying that right, by Shannon Chakraborty. I'm probably completely destroying the name of this book and the author's name. I apologize. But this one is a pirate-themed book on the Indian Ocean. We have a vengeful merchant. We have notorious pirates, backstabbing rogues. We have an actual demon wanting to retire. Yeah, I don't know, but I've heard this is a fun adventure-style book. I like books about pirates. It takes place on the ocean. Thought that was perfect for that prompt. Okay, next prompt is Frozen Treat. So you're supposed to pick a book that has red, white, and or blue on the cover. So I grabbed one of each just to kind of show you. First one, Jennifer Hillier, Freak. I am very anxious to pick these up, or this one up. This is a second book, I think, kind of in a duology. Creep is first, then Freak, so I can't read this one yet, but obviously it's a red cover. Jennifer Hillier, it's going to be a thrilling mystery style, kind of psychological thriller. This one might be a little gritty, might be a little bit detailed in the killings. Jennifer Hillier is not afraid to go dark, which I appreciate. This one has red, white, and blue on the cover, which is fun. This is Hello Transcriber by Hannah Morrissey. This is definitely one I would consider picking up this summer. It's the beginning of a series. I think there's 4 out now. I have 3, I believe. But perfect. Red, white, and blue. Heard great things about that. And then last but not least, this one is mostly white cover, but it does have the red. And this is Lisa Lutz, The Accomplice. I might have read Lisa Lutz at some point in my adult life. I can't think of anything. I'd have to check Goodreads. But I just pulled this off of my shelves. Honestly, I don't even know what it's about. Let's see. So we have Owen and Luna, who are best friends. What binds them together? Everyone is curious. And why do people around them keep turning up dead? Ooh, good question. Looks like we have a friendship, and then they kind of come back into each other's life as adults because Luna finds Owen's wife brutally murdered. There's a police investigation. It says the accomplice brilliantly examines the bonds of shared history, what it costs to break them, and what happens when you start wondering how well you know the one person that truly knows you the best. That sounds really good. See, this is why this is fun, because I've had this on my shelves and couldn't even tell you what it's about. Now I really want to read it. Okay. This is going to be quite a mess to pick up and clean up, guys. Next one is Poolside Thriller. Read a mystery or a thriller. I have 2 whole shelves of mystery thrillers that I could pick. That's better. I was a little off-centered. So I just grabbed 2 randomly that are been on my radar. This Girl's Killer by Emma C. Wells. This one is blurbed by Jessie Q. Satanto. I have no idea. This one, I think it's like a female serial killer with a revenge plot, I think. So by day, she's an ambitious pharma rep with a flawless reputation and a designer wardrobe, but by night, she goes around South Louisiana looking for bad men, basically, that have evaded justice, and she kind of tries to get revenge. Something about karma. She's not a killer, she is simply karma, and being karma requires complete and utter control. But when Cordelia discovers a flaw in her perfectly designed system for eliminating monsters, pressure heightens. This sounds like a female Dexter, and I am all in 100%. I think this one would be really fun in the summer. I like page-turning twisty thrillers in the summer, for sure, and all year long, really. This one was blurbed by Colleen Hoover. This is Geneva Rose, One of Us is Dead. I have read Geneva Rose and really enjoy her. This one we are following. So sometimes friendship can be deadly. I love books with female twisted friendship. So it says, meet the woman of Buckhead, a place of expensive cars, huge houses, and competitive friendships. We're following Shannon, who was once Queen Bee of Buckhead, but she has now been dumped by Bryce, her politician husband, and replaced by a much younger woman. Shannon sets out to take revenge. Crystal has stepped into Shannon's old shoes, a young, innocent Texan girl. She simply has no idea what she's up against. Olivia, she has waited years to take Shannon's crown as the unofficial queen of Buckhead. Finally, her moment has come, but to take her rightful place, she will need to use every backstabbing, manipulative, underhand trick in the book. And then Jenny. She owns Glow, the most exclusive salon in town. Jenny knows all of her clients' secrets and darkest desires, but will she ever tell? Who amongst these women will be clever enough to survive Buckhead, and who will wind up dead? They say friendships can be complex, but no one said it could ever be this deadly. That sounds so good. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry. Let me keep moving. Okay, sunscreen and sci-fi. Read a sci-fi book. So I picked two. One I've read, one I haven't. The one I've read is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I own, I believe, 3 copies of this book. I have 2 special editions, but this is one of my favorites of all time. I don't know that I'm ready to reread it yet, because I only read it, 2 years ago, but definitely will read it at some point. And this is a really pretty edition with some pretty end pages. The book is really pretty too. The naked hardcover has these silver foil flowers all over it. Gorgeous. But yes, this is one of my favorites. Definitely got a magical realism sci-fi type vibe there. And then the other one that I'm anxious to pick up is The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. I feel like I have not heard anyone talk about this. It sounds super intriguing. Again, with some really cool end pages. We got all those doors. Just a regular naked cover, though. It's a debut novel. Ooh, that would work for another prompt, you guys. A debut novel full of magic, adventure, and romance. The Book of Doors opens up a thrilling world of contemporary fantasy for readers of The Midnight Library, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Oh, that's funny. And The Night Circus. I love The Night Circus. I love the life of Addie LaRue. I have not read The Midnight Library, but everyone knows that book, right? Yeah, we're following Cassie Andrews. She works in a New York bookstore, and I think she finds something in the bookstore, a book or something that basically takes her all over magical places, back in time, that kind of thing. It sounds really magical and fun. So there's that recommendation. Hopefully it's good. Next one is, oh, you guys, I skipped Road Trip Read. My bad. Road Trip Read, I just had them stacked out of order. I have 3 for this one. One that I've read, this is a thriller. He Started It by Samantha Downing. I feel like this is a underhyped or underloved Samantha Downing book, but I really had a good time with it. We're following siblings. I like books with twisted, sibling dynamics. We have I think it was her grandfather, not their father. We're following Beth, Portia, and Eddie Morgan. Their grandfather dies, and he leaves a cryptic final message, and the siblings have to basically take a road trip and follow these clues to get their inheritance from their grandfather. And it was twisted and good, an explosive ending. I love this. This was such a fun fun time. Perfect for a day at the beach if you want to just get engrossed in a messed up thriller. Okay, next one is more of a contemporary, maybe a little bit historical fiction. This is Whistling Past the Graveyard by Susan Crandall. Ironically, you know, I think Amber gifted this book to me, which is, I didn't pick on purpose. That's funny. But yeah, summer of 1963, we have a girl who runs away from her Mississippi home. She's being raised by her very strict grandmother. And her mom, when she was younger, left for Nashville to become a famous singer and kind of abandoned Starla with her grandmother when she was 3 years old. So Starla decides to head out for Nashville, try to find her mom, and along the way she accepts a ride from Eula, who's a black woman traveling alone with a white baby, and now they're on the road trip that will change her life forever. Starla sees for the first time life as it really is, and she reaches for a dream of how it could one day be. This was a 2014 Book Award fiction winner. I've heard good things. This has been on my TBR a very long time, which would also fit for TBR tan lines. A lot of these will fit for different prompts. And then last but not least for road trip, this is another one I'm really anxious to pick up. This is West with Giraffes, a novel by Linda Routledge. This is based on a true story. We got historical fiction. We are following Woodrow Wilson Nichol. He's 105 years old. He feels his life ebbing away, but when he learns giraffes are going extinct, he finds himself recalling the unforgettable experience he cannot take to his grave. In 1938, the Great Depression lingers, Hitler is threatening Europe, and world-weary Americans long for wonder. They find it in two giraffes who miraculously survive a hurricane while crossing the Atlantic. What follows is a 12-day road trip in a custom truck to deliver Southern California's first giraffes to the San Diego Zoo. Behind the wheel is the young Dust Bowl rowdy Woodrow. Inspired by true events, this tale weaves real-life figures with fictional ones, including the world's first female zoo director, a crusty old man with a past, a young female photographer with a secret, and some giraffes. Sounds so good, you guys. I've heard good things about this too. So there's your travel, road trip style book recommendations. Okay, I will be right back. I need to pick up my next group of piles. Okay, next prompt, book with a yellow cover. This is the sunflower pick. I have way more than 3 yellow covers. So I picked some. Okay, so Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice. I think this is the newest Finley Donovan, yellow. Can't get into it too much because it's, later in the series. But these are just a short, quick, fun time read, which would also work for another prompt. And it's just a fun time. She gets into all kinds of trouble. Next one, a Jodi Picoult book. She wrote this one with Jennifer Finney Boylan. It's called Mad Honey. I haven't picked up a Jodi in a while. So I'm kind of anxious to pick one of hers up this summer. This is a soul-stirring novel about what we choose to keep from our past and what we choose to leave behind. I'm not going to get into it because this video is going to be way too long, but I can't imagine it not being an amazing story. This is Jodi. And then a Claire McIntosh book, After the End. Honestly, I don't even remember what this is about, but I remember hearing about it on someone else's channel like a couple years ago. I think this one came out. I really liked I Let You Go, which is a book I read by her. This came out in 2019, so not too old. Let's see. This is a deeply moving and page-turning novel about an impossible choice and the 2 paths fate could take. Max and Pip are the strongest couple you know. They're best friends, lovers, unshakable. But then their son gets sick and the doctors put the questions of his survival into their hands. Oh yes, I remember. For the first time, Max and Pip can't agree. They each want a different future for their son. What if they could have both? A gripping and propulsive exploration of love, marriage, parenthood, and the road not taken. This one's gonna make me cry, I decided, just by that blurb. Oh my gosh, that sounds good. Okay, Summer Fling, a romance. I tend to gravitate towards quick, light, fluffy romances also in the summer. But however, I feel like 2 of these suggestions might be a little harder hitting Emily Henry, her newest book, definitely on my radar. Beautiful cover, fun summer vibes on this one. Cute end pages. Like, you guys, I cannot. It was brief and it was beautiful is written on there as well. You guys probably know what this is about. I've talked about it recently in my most anticipated, so we won't get into it, but that's definitely a fun romance that I'm hoping to get to soon. Next one, I'm dying to try Lucy Score. This is her newest story of my life. It starts a new romance companion novel type series. I feel like this is just speaks like summer to me. It's something about the bike, and I think it takes place near a lake, which is another prompt. Beach Read Bliss would work for this one. I don't know. It takes place in tiny Story Lake, Pennsylvania. So I'm guessing there's a lake. And then this is Rebecca Yaros's, I think, her newest romance variation. This one sounds probably hard hitting, but I'm definitely into Rebecca Yaros's writing and romance and all of that. Okay, next prompt. We have Campfire Classic. This is a prompt to read a classic or a retelling. So I have two retellings because I know myself and I'm not going to be in the mood to pick up a classic in the middle of summer. That's not the vibe. Classic vibe to me is like fall, winter, cozy, staying indoors anyways. That just doesn't work for me. So I went with retellings. Two of my favorite books. This one is Emily Henry. It's YA, A Million Junes. This is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, which I love. Romeo and Juliet. It's one of my favorite classics. I love the Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes movie. That's actually the first movie my husband and I saw when we were dating a long time ago. So that's close to my heart. So that sounds really good. And then Bridget, this is one I've had on my TBR for a long time, which would work for TBR tan lines. A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This is part of a series, maybe a duology, I can't remember. But this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is my favorite Disney princess. I love Beauty and the Beast. It's one of my favorite movies. I was at like the perfect age when that came out. And yeah. Anyways, so those are the retelling ones. I have more on my shelves also, but those are the two that I'd probably pick one of those if I got this prompt this summer. Okay, next one is Picnic Pages, a cozy and comforting a cozy or lighthearted read. So the first thing that popped in my mind for some reason was Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This is an amazing romance. This copy is new to me. I read a library copy back in the day. We're following Macy and Elliot, their first love. Then they come back together as adults. And I think it takes place by a lake as well. Yeah, lazy summers together. Yeah, as adults, they become strangers to one another until their chance reunion. You go back and forth in time to when they were kids, getting to know each other. And I think this is an all-time favorite romance of mine. I would like to reread it, though, at some point. But there's that one. Then another one I consider lighthearted and cozy. This is a middle grade, but I am excited to reread this one at one point because the fourth book in the series, I think it's the fourth, is now coming out. And I've only read the first one, and I feel like I have to reread this. But this is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow. By Jessica Townsend. If you love Harry Potter, this is a series you'll love. It's got magical, whimsical type vibe storyline. I really am hoping I can get my 12-year-old Ava to read this. She is not a huge reader, which is hard for a mom who loves to read. But yeah, it says perfect for fans of Neil Gaiman, Harry Potter, Mysterious Benedict Society series. This is just, to me, it's a classic. We're following Morgan Crow. She was born on Eventide, which is the unluckiest day for a child to be born. She is blamed for all the local misfortunes, from hailstorms to heart attacks. And worst of all, the curse dooms her to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. So it says, as Morgan awaits her fate, a strange and remarkable man named Juniper North appears. Love Juniper's character. We are chased by black smoke hounds, shadowy hunters on horseback, and he whisks her away to a town called Nevermore. And Nevermore is where Morgan discovers that Jupiter has chosen her to contend for a place in the city's most prestigious organization, the Wondrous Society. But in order to join, she has to stay in the safety of Nevermore for good. She must compete in 4 difficult and dangerous trials against other children, or she'll have to leave the city to confront her deadly fate. There's also a fun cat in this one too, I believe. Why am I remembering a cat? Anyways, those are the 2 I picked for that. Okay, I'll be back with my next stack of books. Okay, the next prompt is New Arrival, Summer Debut, a debut novel. So both of these are debuts that I have loved and read. I would like to thank Book of the Month. I'm not a sponsor or anything. I'm just kidding. No, just they are so good about picking out books by debut authors that I ended up loving. The first one is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. Stacey Willingham, if you like a little bit more on the darker, grittier side of thrillers, she's good. She's a good one. Really gave that one 5 stars. And then We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang. This is more of a like contemporary general fiction, women's fiction, if you will. Gave this 5 stars. I have read all 3 of Tracy Lang's books as they've come out because of how much I love this book. My favorite is her most recent, What Happened to the McCraes, which I read this year. Gave that 5 stars. Then this one's my favorite after that. They're both really good. This was 5 stars as well. And The Colonies of County Down, I did enjoy that. I can't remember if I give that 4 or 5 stars, but she's an excellent writer. This is about an Irish family. It's not too long. And when I was reading both of these debuts, I thought, wow, these are debut books. This is an author for me. So, can't go wrong with either of those 2. Next one is a tropical title. Tropical title, a book set in a hot or exotic location. So one of these I've read. This is Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. This is not my favorite Rachel Hawkins, but I had a fun, good time reading it. This is a perfect, what I would consider a summertime read because you can just binge it and it's action-packed and twisty-turny and messed up people doing messed up things. But it takes place in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on an island with a mysterious history of shipwrecks, cannibalism, and even rumors of murder. You have people that end up going missing. I won't say much more, but this was, I think I read this like in 2 sittings last summer. Really good. And then what's on my radar if I roll this prompt is Perfect Days by Rafael Montes. This is a translated work. This also could work for a later prompt of a shorter story or novella. It's only 260 pages, so very short. But this one we are following a twisted young medical student who kidnaps the girl of his dreams and embarks on a dark and delirious road trip. And this book is from a Brazilian writer, so it is translated into English. I'm not sure who translated it. It says, Tio Avelar is a loner, living out his days with his paraplegic mother in Rio de Janeiro. This also would work for Passport, required, guys. This would work for a lot. So it's a suspenseful psychological thriller. It says, in the vein of The Talented Mr. Ripley, which I loved that movie. I haven't read the book. But yeah, it's a lurid journey in the passenger seat next to a psychopath. This would also work for a road trip read, I feel. So that one I'm really hoping to get to. Okay, next one is Summer Library Challenge. Obviously, go to your library, pick something out. I do have a stack of library books I could show you. But actually, let me grab them. Obviously, by the time if I get this prompt, I might not have these library books anymore. But I went to the library yesterday and I picked up The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. Really want to just at least peruse this as a school counselor. I think this would be really interesting. I probably could also write part of this book, not to like say I'm a brilliant person, but I experience the anxiety that kids have, and it's more peaked now than before 2020, before social media, all of the things. So I think it kind of goes into all of that. In The Anxious Generation, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt lays out the facts about the epidemic of teen mental illness and hits many countries at the same time. He then investigates the nature of childhood, including why children need play and independent exploration. to mature into competent, thriving adults. So you follow, like, looking at childhood play and everything like that from the 1980s until the arrival of phone-based childhood in the early 2010s. I think every parent who has this age children should probably pick this up, but I'll read it first before I commit to that statement. I also picked up 2 books set in the, like, roaring 20s. I don't know, I was just in the mood for one of these. The Last 12 Miles by Erica Roebuck and The Roaring Days of Zora Lily by Noelle Salazar. Both are, I think, historical fiction-ish. Don't know what they're about other than they take place in the 1920s. I picked up The Only Plane in the Sky, An Oral History of 9/11. I don't know. I more picked it up because I wanted to kind of read through it and kind of try some chapters. And if it grasps me, which I think it will. I've heard this is a really hard, upsetting book to read, so that's why I'm like, do I want to own it? So I wanted to try it out, see if it's a book I want to own. But probably will read this in September, 9/11, September, or maybe November for, like, my non-fiction books I like to pick up in November for non-fiction November. So there's that one. Told you this was video. It's going to be long. The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. I don't know. I have seen this book in Barnes & Noble and different bookstores. I've seen it at the library a couple times, and I'm always gravitated towards the cover. So I thought I would pick it up and do some chapters and see if it's something I'm really into. A new Allegra Goodman, Isola. I don't know. It's unanticipated releases for me. We have someone who is heir to a fortune. And I think, historical, modern, intimate, and epic, personal and powerful, an unforgettable story of love, faith, and defiance. Interested in trying out that author. And then last but not least, I don't know, the cover grabbed my attention. It's like a heavy, floppy book. This is something I'd pick up in a bookstore and think, ooh, I want to own that. It's very heavy. But I don't know, it's just a secret, I think it's like domestic thriller kind of thing. Strange and oddly familiar man appears on a show. It's a girl who has a true crime podcast. I don't know, sounds good. So, happened to just be at the library, so there you go. There's some library choices. Weekend Getaway, a short story or novella. So outside of Perfect Days, which is fairly short, I just got this one for $5 at, I didn't do a book haul with it, but I ended up at Half Price Books the other day, and I found this. This is a short story by Sarah Pinborough, Beauty. It's a wicked retelling of Sleeping Beauty, so another prompt, you guys. But it's only like, I don't know. It looks like, I didn't even know she had these. It looks like she may have more. Charm, a wicked Cinderella tale, and Poison, a wicked Snow White tale. So if this is good, there's 2 other ones. It's under 200 pages. I picked that up. And then this one I read, I would like to reread it because it was a long time ago. On Luna Time by Amber Crowley. I read this probably, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. We have Vanessa Marshall, who has spent her life in and out of foster care. She has a small recollection of her mother that left her behind when she was really young. And then she receives a strange letter from her mother 3 weeks before her 18th birthday. Vanessa knows it's her only shot at finding her real family. The letter, though, instructs her to jump off of the Swan Pier into the ocean at midnight under the next full moon. So Vanessa jumps, only to find out that she's come up for air 70 years in the past. I really enjoyed this when I read it, but I feel like it's something I could read again, and I forgot a lot of the details, but you have time travel. I like books with time travel. So there you go. There's 2 short and sweet books for that prompt. Next is Star Spangled Banner, a 5-star prediction. So I just picked this up for $3. It's a hardcover of Lovely Bones. This is an older title by Alice Bold. It's one of Sarah's Nightstand's favorite books of all time. But I remember that in 2002, so this is an older book, but I remember this title being mentioned and seeing it everywhere. I think it's been made into a movie. I think there's some kind of murder, and I think the person murdered tells the story like as a ghost watching everyone down below, basically. I think. I don't know. But I think that'll be 5 stars. And then I'm pretty sure this one will be 5 stars. The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I just picked this up as well. It was a pre-order. Look at this, you guys. Look at the sword. This is another book that's surprisingly heavy. The pages are like very like thick quality. Like, can you hear that? I don't know. I can't explain it. Pick this book up in the store if you see it. It's heavy. But look at these gorgeous pages, you guys. I cannot. And then look. Are you kidding me? It's like a blue foil. I just can't. This book is gorgeous. Fantasy, adventure, magic, romantasy. Yes, please. So there you go for 5-star reads. Okay, I'm back with the next stacks. So the next prompt we have is 4th of July, a holiday-themed book. So I picked one with the holiday, like Halloween, spooky time, and then Valentine's Day. So the Valentine's Day is, of course, a romance, The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. This is about a story of 3 women, I think, that get stood up on Valentine's Day by the same guy. I've read and liked Beth O'Leary before, so there's that one in Valentine's Day. Next one is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. I'm really hoping to pick this up this fall. It's only 262 pages. You also get some bonus content in here, which is cool. We get some bonus content from Stephen King, Margaret Atwood, some rare manuscript pages and sketches from Ray Bradbury's personal archive. And this is, I think, like a traveling, not circus, but like a traveling carnival comes to town, and it's spooky and it's a classic, and there's a movie made about this. I think it's an older movie. I think I watched it when I was in like high school. I don't remember, but there you go. That one takes place around Halloween. Next one, Summer Camp, a book set outdoors or at a summer camp. So I have a nonfiction for that one and a thriller. So this Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager is, I don't know, between this and Final Girls, I don't know, but there's so many I love by him. Okay, I can't pick a favorite right now, but this is up there with one of my favorites of Riley Sager. This one takes place at a summer camp. So good. I'd like to reread it at some point. And then this one is The Stranger in the Woods. It's an extraordinary story of the last true hermit by Michael Finkel. So this is nonfiction, and it's about Michael Finkel in 1986. Or no, that's the author. 1986, 21-year-old Christopher Knight drove into rural Maine, abandoned his car, and disappeared into the woods. He would not have a conversation with another person for the next 27 years. Drawing on extensive interviews, journalist Michael Finkel shows how Knight lived in a tent in a secluded encampment, developing ingenious ways to store provisions and stave off frostbite during the winters. A former alarm technician, he stealthily broke into nearby cottages for food, books, and supplies, taking only what he needed, but sowing unease in a community plagued by mysterious burglaries. So, I don't know. I think my husband Mike read this, I think. But this sounds interesting. I'm interested, or else I wouldn't have picked it up, right? So there's that one. Okay, Passport Required, a book set outside of the country you live in. So I grabbed 2. I have not read either of these. This is Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I found this in the Free Little Library, I think. 1970s Mexico City. We have a slow burn noir of daydreaming secretary, a lonesome enforcer, and the mystery of a missing woman they're both desperate to find. And it takes place in Mexico City, 1970s. And then this one takes place in London. This is The Foundling by Stacey Halls. I've read other books by her. This one is really pretty, and it was signed by the author. I got it from, I think, Blackwell's online a long time ago. It's got a fun spine on that one. This one is about a woman who gives up her child in 1754. She leaves her illegitimate daughter Clara at London's Foundling Hospital, and then she returns back, gets her life together, comes back to get her daughter, and her daughter is not there. Someone has basically adopted her. So Yeah, someone claimed her, and that's what you follow. So, sounds good. Okay, next one. We're almost done, you guys. TBR Tan Lines, a book that has been on your TBR forever. I've already mentioned some, but the oldest one I have marked on Goodreads that I picked up was a long time ago, and that was The Stolen Marriage by Diane Chamberlain. I actually don't even know what this is about. 1944, pregnant and alone, 23-year-old Tess DeMello abruptly gives up her budding career as a nurse and ends her engagement to the love of her life, unable to live a lie. Instead, she turns to the baby's father for help and agrees to marry him, moving to the small rural town of Hickory, North Carolina. Tessa's new husband, Henry Kraft, is a secretive man who often stays out of sight or stays out all night, hides money from his new wife, and shows her no affection. So now she's trapped in a strange and loveless marriage with no way out. And I think she tries to untangle the truth of what her husband's doing late at night. What's his deal? The other one that I've had forever, I feel, is I See You by Claire McIntosh. I know I mentioned her in another book. She was a yellow cover book. But this one follows Zoe Walker. She's looking in the local paper and she sees her own face staring back at her in a classified ad. And it says, the grainy photo is a phone number and a listing for a website called findtheone.com. In the following day, she sees other women in the same ad, a different one every day, and nearly all of them show up in the newspapers as victims of increasingly violent crimes, including murder. That sounds so good. So good. Okay. We have two more. Beach Bag Essentials, a fun, quick read. I grabbed a thriller and a romance, because to me that's what I think of. I'm Not Done With You Yet by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I've heard good things about this. I think we have like dark and twisted female friendships. There's writing involved. I think one of them or both of them are writers. I think they knew each other in college, possibly. Yeah, they met during their writing days at Oxford. Yeah. So I don't know. We have a blood-soaked night that changed everything. Don't know. Got to find out. The other one is an Allie Brady book. I got this on clearance a while ago. It's not recent. From Half Price Books. There's still stickers on it, but it was only $3. The Beach Trip by Allie Brady. This is a romance. Allie Brady has a new one coming out that sounds really good. This one is two best friends torn apart by a life-altering secret one summer to set the record straight. I've heard good things about this one as well. So there you go for that. All right, last prompt is sensational titles, and I have 6 to talk about. So let me go grab those. Okay, I lied. I have 7. 7 books with like summer-ish titles. This one is The Girls of Summer by Katie Bishop. I think this is following like a cult-themed thriller. Summer Island by Kristen Hanna. This is going to be contemporary women's fiction, probably. It's one of her older ones. Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane. Lake for the summer word. This is really good. This is about a lady named Gina finds out that her husband is a serial killer. She takes her kids, tries to disappear to get away from him. It's a whole series. I think there's 4 in the series. The Island. I would love to go to an island this summer. It's not going to happen. But The Island by Adrienne McKinty. This is an action-packed page-turner. Perfect beach read as well. Summertime read. Mermaids. When We Believed in Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. My cousin Samantha read this and really recommended it. Loved it. I think this is, more like women's fiction, contemporary fiction, hard-hitting. She loved it. The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. No, I have not read this book. I know. I'm probably the last person on earth to read this book. I did start it at one point and had to DNF it for something else, not because I wasn't enjoying it. I think I had to go back to the library or something. I can't remember. Or maybe it was an audiobook that returned. So I got a little bit into it, and then I ended up picking up a used copy when I saw it. So I still have to read that. And last but not least, one I'm anxious to pick up, 7 Days, 3 Families, 1 Killer. This is by T.M. Logan, who I've never read before, and this is called The Vacation. So I don't even know what it's about, but what's more summer than The Vacation? Like, come on, everyone vacations in the summer, right? Not everyone, but it's obviously a popular time to vacation. So we have three best friends spending a week together in the south of France at a luxurious villa. Yes, please. Through the decades, they've stayed closer than ever, and 7 days of drinking crisp French wine and lying out under the Mediterranean sun is the perfect celebration of their friendship. But soon after arriving, Kate discovers an incriminating text on her husband's cell phone, a text revealing that he's having an affair, and the other woman is one of her best friends. But which one? She's trapped in paradise, can't trust any of her best friends. Oh my god, it sounds horrible. But it sounds really good. Makes for a good thriller. So there you go. That was a lot. I know this is a longer video, so thank you. If you've made it to the end, please put a palm tree or a sun, a beach scene, something summer related, some kind of little emoji that makes you think of summer, so I know that you made it to the end. Thanks as always for watching. I hope I gave you some good recommendations. I hope you guys are playing Booked for summer. I hope you have fun with it like I'm going to. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.